on Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas just to see how the crowd would react with African American tag team champions. Because at one point he was going to actually put the belt on Tony Atlas, but then when Vince Sr. ended up giving it to Vince Jr., for those Vince McMahon fans out there, I'm gonna drop a bombshell for you. He scraped that idea.
Damn. That sounds.
And now you want to see why we don't. There's never been a WWE Black World Heavyweight Champion. Yeah, the world title belt, that's meaningless to them. The WWE belt is the belt that they care about. And why we don't have no black champion? Yeah, The Rock don't count females. He don't. he's not full blooded. I'm sorry.
Oh man, you mean Vince Sr. don't went full MAGA? Man, is that what you're saying? Oh,
well, his wife worked on the committee, so hey.
Yeah, I mean,
who knows?
You can't really be surprised, man. So when it comes down to it, man, we went through a lot of this history behind it, and so we look at this and we talk about our favorite wrestlers. I mean, what traits really just helped you gravitate to a particular wrestler? AK, I know you talked about, man, you embraced that villain role on it. I mean, who was y'all's folks where it was up to like, you know what, this is my dude, I'm rolling with it anytime. See, like for me, I'm kind of like you, man. Ric Flair, that was it. Woo! Because that motherfucker didn't give a fuck, man.
He did not.
End of the day. I mean, but that's just me because, look, I'm an 80s baby, and I mean, that's how I grew up with it, man. I mean, what about y'all, man? I mean, what's the trait that just said, you know what, that's my dude?
I got to say Hulk Hogan for one, for starters. And the only reason why I say that is because...
How you doing, brother?
I mean...
How you doing, nigga?
Just the energy. Just before energy was energy, he had the energy. He brought... He brought, you know what I'm saying, he brought you to the dance. You know what I'm saying? He made wrestling what it is today. But if we really want to get technical with it...
Go ahead.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Ooh. Wow.
Why I say that? Because when that guy did an interview, you was like, you was staring into the TV. Like he had you. Like your mouth is on the ground and you just don't realize your mouth is on the ground because he's definitely looking into your eyes. And you believe everything that's coming out of his mouth. And Arn Anderson was that way too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Double A was, you got to know how to talk. You got to know how to talk. You gotta, and when you talk, you got to make sure that it's natural. It don't sound robotic. It don't sound something somebody wrote down for you. It just got to be something that you would literally say on the streets.
You got to embrace that shit. Make it part of you.
You have to.
Yeah.
Man, see, I mean that's crazy now. And so when we look at all of this now, we talk about what's going on today. I mean, this is such a big part of our childhood. But I mean, how do you feel about wrestling today compared to what it was, man? We know it's not the same. We know it ain't as good. But, I mean, how do you feel about it now? Is it the right direction? Is it starting to fall off real heavy? I mean, what you think about that?
Well, this one is always an ongoing debate. One of the reasons this is because currently, and I'm just going to say it, I know it's going to piss people off, but WWE has cornered the market, so to speak, when it comes to professional wrestling. They're making it very hard for other organizations to compete on that level. Versus when we were growing up, you had the WCW, you had ECW, you had New Japan Pro Wrestling, you had all these different organizations vying for your attention, and so you can appreciate it more. You will see that, in my opinion, at the time during the WWF, WCW wars, WWF had the production value. They had that. WCW had the wrestling value. And so nowadays, WWE can kind of write the script on how wrestling is because, like I said, they have a big corner of that particular market. But I think we do need to get back to that. There needs to be more competition because when you don't have competition, you can get lackadaisical at your approach. You can put something out on TV to say, hey, they're going to watch it anyway. There's nothing else for them to watch. But they definitely do need that drive or that competition factor back. One of the organizations that I've gotten into as of the last couple of years would be Ring of Honor. And now a lot of these stars in WWE now, they came through Ring of Honor. And they brought a whole new caliber of athleticism, style of wrestling, and their approach. And so those of you who are diehard WWE, WWF fans, that's okay. But you do need to realize that there is more outside of WWE and WWF, and show appreciation to those different organizations. So for me, what's going on wrong now is there's not a lot of competitive threat to the big house, which is WWE.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, it's to the point now where it's just it feels watered down. You know what I mean? It's just not the same. You don't have the characters, you don't have the personality. It's kind of like what we were talking about before, man. They don't really set up a story or anything else, man. It's just a matter of we're going to be out there, we're going to do our thing, we're going to get off the stage, and that's it. And it's really hard to be engaged in that, whether you're in the arena or you're watching on TV. How can you get engaged behind something like that? I mean, what you think, Black Guy?
Me personally, like I said, man, I come from I think we all do. We come from a era where, it was, you could look at it and be like, yeah, it was real. This is real. The feeling is real. The energy is real. I also grew up on that Memphis wrestling real hard. So I grew up around the Jerry the King Lawlers, the Tommy Riches, the Austin Idols, the Brickhouse Browns. And lo and behold, whether people know it or not, Macho Man Randy Savage came from there. Rock and Roll Express came from there. Road Warriors were there. Freebirds were there. Midnight Express, Fantastics, the Fabulous Ones, which, that was Steve Kern and Stan Lane, which everybody know. Stan Lane went to the Midnight Express. And but when I look at it as far as how it has changed through the years, it definitely has evolved. WWE, right now, I don't care for the product. Yeah, I watch it on Mondays. I still watch it. And I know people out there probably be like, well, you still watch it, so why are you saying you don't care about the product? Because sometimes you just hope that it would change.
Even though you know it won't.
Even though you know it won't. You know the format before it even come on TV. You already know who's going to wrestle who. You already know who's going to come out there and talk. You already know who's going to wrestle, this, that, and the other. And right now, they feeling the heat. They feeling some type of heat.
Yeah.
Because if it comes to a point where you have to block another organization from going to a arena that you don't even go to except once or twice a year, and on top of that, you know that particular organization also has another organization that they roll with, you know that they can literally, potentially outdo your organization on that same night. Just like they outdid you in Orlando, Florida.
Well, on the Real AF show, we don't believe in, sugarcoating or giving them half the story. So give them a little give them a little background information on, the scenario you're describing right now.
Oh, okay, no problem, sir. So let me just put it in perspective here. Ring of Honor, I'm gonna put it out there. ROH put on a hell of a show, Supercard Orlando, last WrestleMania 33 weekend.
Yes, they did.
So then, after it was over with, I didn't see NXT because I was at that show. So when I watched NXT, that was probably the first time that NXT didn't put on a great show. So now, not only do you have New Japan and ROH, that is a team that is trying to actually do a show at Madison Square Garden on that Saturday before WrestleMania, 35? Mm-hmm. So WWE comes in and, oh no, we need to talk to MSG and we need to block that. Ooh. And they succeeded. Now, why would you do that? That just lets me know that somebody is right behind you. And you kind of feel a little threat. You may not, want to say you feel a threat, but you feel a threat because in your mind, you just saw Dominion, that's a New Japan event. Dominion put on one hell of a show. Once again, Kenny Omega, Okada, they did their thing. Went 64 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 64 minutes?
Yeah, 64.
Oh, wow.
Every match that didn't have has been a classic. 5-star, 6-star. How many stars you want to put on it? But not only did they have that, but Jericho was on the show. He was a new IWGP Intercontinental Champion. The Young Bucks became, for the first time, new IWGP World Tag Team Heavyweight Champions. Mm-hmm. And that's saying, what do we get from WWE? We get some back ass. What they call it, backlash or back ass? Because we all felt like asses looking at it.
Worst pay-per-view in modern day.
You know what I'm saying? And then you want to come with Money in the Bank. I love the delivery that happened in Money in the Bank. I just didn't like the end result. Because I felt like some people didn't need to be in that position. They already are established. why you need to go back. And that's the problem with WWE. They try to go back to what they think is going to work, but it doesn't. All it does is piss people off because we want to see something fresh. We want to see something new. And it seems like to me when you are at WWE and you have pretty much, like you said, corner the market, that's just like, you know what, I'm Comcast, but I got these little dudes over here. I'm just going to give you any damn thing. Why? Because you're going to always keep coming back to me.
Right.
And that's how WWE does. They know they're the biggest fish in the market, and they know that we still got these fans. We're WWE. We really don't give a shit, and we can just throw you anything, but you still going to roll with us. It's going to come to a point where that New Japan ROH relationship is going to creep up on you, and then you're going to have to change the way you think, because that's what WCW did. Because I remember WWE. It was a clown show back in the day. WCW, Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, NWO, them niggas had to step their game up. You know what I'm saying? And look what they did. WCW fell off to the wayside. But then once they got there comfortable, that's the problem. WWE is comfortable in their skin right now.
Yeah.
And something has to awaken that and change that.
So looking at that and knowing that you're a hardcore fan, going way back, and you're seeing the stuff that's going on, and it's falling off that much, how does this all look to the casual fan? Why does wrestling have such a bad rap just amongst the masses, the folks who don't really understand? And see, I guess I never really understood that, because for us, that was just our escape. You know, we needed to escape from something. Just like a lot of people, they love comics. People love video games. People love sports. You know, that was kind of our escape coming up. These were the heroes coming up. Now, we knew it wasn't real, but, you know, end of the day, to us, it felt real because the way they put their passion into it, the way that they acted, the way they interacted with their fans. But just kind of looking at it for everyone else who doesn't really understand it, why does it have such a bad rap?
Well, with this in particular, I think it's several factors of that. You know, back then, and you can look at old vintage footage tapes and stuff of the casual wrestling, like you said, in Memphis and the local shows and things like that. And, you know, they would pan the camera on some of the fans, and, you know, they would take this stereotype of, oh, they just a dumb country bumpkin, and, you know, they come out here and, you know, have these stereotypes of wearing the overalls, and they're here to see a wrestling show and have 3 teeth total between the entire family. And so they kind of built that stereotype to say these are your particular wrestling fans, which is totally not true. Now, don't get me wrong. We have some fans who do dumbass shit. I think I read an article earlier this week where a fan pie-faced Paige and told her she was too fat. Now, those of you who know who Paige is, know she's small, she's short, she's thin, and, you know, we don't know if she had any kind of eating problems or anything like that. And so, you know, for some reason, the fans took upon themselves to pie-face and tell her, you're fat.
Ain't nothing wrong with Paige. Fans are just stupid as hell. That's all it is. But anyway, go ahead.
They are. And, you know, shit like that, that's what, you know, make people get the bad rap of us. They think less educated or die hard, or they, you know, especially the question on intelligence, they say, don't you know it's fake, it's not real, and things like that. And like I said, if you're a fan, you know the inner workings of it, but shit, people go out and they watch reality TV. It's supposed to be real, but we know how that works. So if I don't come in there and shitting on your parade, don't come in here and mess with ours. So for me, I think it's pretty much the fan base. Blackout, what about you?
I think with the fans, well, not fans, but just people in general that, you know, have an issue with wrestling, I think it's the fact that, you know, they look at it as, oh, it's fake, oh, you know, it's choreographed, this, that, and the other. Well, I mean, if you look at it like that, then, like, you know, just piggyback off of you. Movies are fake. TV shows are fake.
Right.
Your regular daytime soap opera is just ridiculous. You know what the regular daytime soap opera is to the other world? It's the Real Housewives of Atlanta type stuff. That's all it is. They just legalized it and just make it look good with different folks from us. That's all that is. That's all it was. They're actually the original hip hop of Atlanta. Housewives of Atlanta. Reality TV. Oh, they're the original.
Don't lump them in with them niggas, man.
They're the original.
Nah.
We just happen to, I'm not going to say, well, I can't even say we finessed it. You know?
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, No, my mom used to always say this, man.